Hi guys, welcome back for another movie recap. Today, I'm going to give you an overview of the 2019 American science fiction horror film called Color Out of Space. The movie was co-written and directed by Richard Stanley. It is based on the short story, The Color Out of Space, by H.P. Lovecraft. The story follows the Gardners, a family who relocates to a distant farmstead in rural New England to escape the hustle and bustle of the 21st century. They're busy adjusting to their new lives when a meteorite smashes into their front yard, causing strange events that alter their lives forever. Warning: there will be spoilers ahead, so please proceed with caution. Nathan Gardner relocates his family, including children Lavinia, Benny, and Jack, to his late father's farm, following his wife Teresa's mastectomy. Having completed the first year of Nathan's family's relocation from the city, as well as 6 months of Teresa's mastectomy to heal her cancer, they have settled into their quiet life in the country. Lavinia doesn't adapt to the quiet country lifestyle as well as the rest of the family. She feels like she has been stranded in the midst of nowhere for the most of her existence. With a keen interest in Wiccan witchcraft, Lavinia, whilst performing a ceremony in the hopes of returning to the city, meets Ward Phillips, a young hydrologist, assigned to evaluate the cleanliness of the water in the zone. A brightly illuminated meteor crashes into their front yard one night, greatly startling Jack. The meteor is discovered the next morning by hydrologist Ward Phillips, who is studying the region for a dam construction, as well as the mayor and sheriff of the adjacent town of Arkham. Nathan and Lavinia see the meteor being struck by many bolts of lightning that night during a storm. Ward sees that the groundwater has an oily shine to it and decides to run experiments on it to see if it is dangerous. He warns the Gardners not to drink it as his test strips begin to light brilliantly with the color. While informing adjacent resident Ezra of the pollution, Ward is given a tape of sounds of unknown origin. The sounds were captured from a recording after the meteorite incident. Ezra claims to be picking up strange noises around his house at night. Meanwhile, Jack becomes fascinated with the property's well. He notices odd plants growing around it, and strange insects. Jack claims that he is able to communicate with a friend inside the well. The news of the meteorite incident spreads. When a news team arrives to interview Nathan about the meteor, they are surprised to discover that the meteor has disappeared. Later, Nathan sees himself on the news channel. The reporter and film crew show him in a bad light, portraying him as some crazy guy. While chopping vegetables in preparation for dinner for the family, Teresa experiences a lapse in concentration. While distracted, she chops off 2 of her fingers by accident. Benny is left in charge as Nathan rushes her to the hospital. Meanwhile, Benny walks outside to put the farm's alpacas back in their stables at Nathan's request, but does not return until late at night, claiming time had passed him by. Meanwhile, Lavinia tries several times to call Nathan, but they are unable to communicate over the phone. Nathan strikes out at Benny and Lavinia with unusual fury when he returns to the house. Later, Nathan grows enraged after discovering that his most recent crop of fruits are inedible. Teresa goes into a fit of rage after losing another work client. Due to the unreliable internet connection at the house, her frustration results in an argument with Nathan. The same night, Lavinia tries to execute a ritual with the Necronomicon, sacrificing her blood in exchange for her family's salvation, but she ends up mutilating herself in the process. After approaching the alpaca stables, Teresa hears Jack and Benny crying and runs to their help, but a bolt of color merges Teresa and Jack together into a crazy mass. Nathan and the kids lift Teresa and Jack into the attic since they can't start the car or phone for help because all of their technological devices have stopped working. Benny explains that he saw the alpacas after they had a terrible mutation as a result of the color. After seeing that the alpacas had fused together as well, Nathan resolves to euthanize them with a shotgun. Nathan, who is beginning to lose his mind, also tries to euthanize Teresa and Jack but is unable to do so. Lavinia and Benny plan to flee the farm, but the color seems to interfere with all electronic devices, including the family car. Instead, they attempt to ride Lavinia's horse in an effort to escape, but the horse bolts out of fear, leaving them behind with no easy way to escape. Benny claims he hears the family's dog inside the well. He decides to is going to climb into the well to rescue the family dog, but as he climbs in, he is assimilated by the color. Nathan's wrath flares up again. It seems to be a side effect of the color, that causes him to have erratic behavior. During his fit of rage, he locks Lavinia up in the attic, with Teresa and Jack. Lavinia is scared for her safety, and hides in the corner, away from Teresa and Jack, who have become more aggressive and look like they might hurt her. After a neighboring homeowner uncovers a merged mass of animals, Ward and the sheriff are sent to the property, arriving just in time to break into the attic. Nathan kills the creature with a single shot, rescuing Lavinia. He then rushes outside, to shoot the color as he emerges from the well. Amidst the chaos, the sheriff mistakenly thinks that Nathan is aiming for Ward, who's standing in front of him, and fatally shoots Nathan in the back. Ward and the sheriff go to check on Ezra, and evacuate him from the area. They try to convince Lavinia to leave too, but she refuses to leave Nathan behind at the farmhouse. She believes there is still a chance to save him, and she doesn't want to leave him behind. When Ward and the sheriff arrive at the neighboring house, there is no sign of him. The only thing they find in Ezra's residence is his dried body, and a tape he left behind. They play the tape, in which he speculates that the color is trying to recreate Earth into something it knows. This is where things get even more strange. A mutant living tree murders the sheriff as he returns to the homestead. Ward comes to save Lavinia, but discovers that she has been overtaken by the color and it is too late. The color then erupts from the well and creates a funnel into the sky. It is truly terrifying. Before Lavinia disintegrates, Ward is shown a glimpse of where the color comes from, a hallucinogenic exoplanet populated by tentacled alien creatures. Ward approaches the farmhouse as space and time begin to unravel, and is followed by a violent ghost of Nathan intent on causing harm. It seems like Ward is the only survivor on the farm. The color has now caused serious damage, and it appears like everything is about to implode. Nathan climbs into the wine cellar and locks himself inside. The color's distortion of reality destroys the property, leaving it in complete destruction. Ward appears to be the only survivor, everyone else is gone. As Ward climbs out of the remains of the rubble that was once the farmhouse, he looks around at a colorless ashy, blasted heath. He feels very lucky to be alive. In an epilogue, a terrified Ward stands on top of the completed dam that surrounds the old land, narrating that he would never drink the dam's water after witnessing the color's conquest. If you like this movie, make sure to smash the like button. Want to see more great videos? Hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss out on any future videos. We post new videos daily, so make sure to visit our channel for the best sci-fi and horror movie releases. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day ahead and I'll see you next time.